Hi, I'm Janice. Everyone knows me as Dr. LP, and I'm a provider with groups. I work with groups in Florida and Indiana currently, and I've been with groups for approximately 2 years now.
I'm Carol. I'm one of the staff providers for the intake team, and I've been with groups for about 3 years now. So I'm actually family practice trained, and I've worked in many disciplines. I was actually an Army doctor first. That's actually where I did my residency and worked for 7 years in the Army doing full scope family practice.
My background, board certified in emergency medicine. I practiced emergency medicine for years. I saw a opening for, I think it was at that time in Florida. And so I reached out and talked with one of the recruiters, and then I actually interviewed with Gus too at the time. And really loved the model of what groups stand for, and I really just bought into it and thought that it was doing such great positive work in an area that had such a negative stigma.
The people here are so wonderful in how the other providers and the other staff, and you know, of course, you get prepared really quickly with learning how to manage the Suboxone and all of that. For me, coming in here and then being placed in a group, and then everybody's, you know, because most people are pretty open about everything that they talk about, you know, and I was like, you know, at first I was like, oh my gosh, you know, everybody's like talking about all these different things and things that have happened to them, and some of these stories are really hits you, and that's what really surprised me, is like my capacity to be able to be there for them, you know, and be open to them as much as they were open to me. Our members come from all types of situations, all types of walks of life. But the one thing that's pretty much common throughout all of them is they're coming to us for help, for our compassion, for our willingness to not pass judgment on them.
They're trying, but sometimes they don't have the resources, because at the end, we want you to win. And if we kick you out of groups, who's winning with that? You know, like it's right. So that's the absolute last resort. That's not what we want. And obviously that's not what they want, because they're here. And they're gonna stumble. And so I think it's important that we remember to give them grace. Be willing to listen. And what you may think is appropriate, as far as what you think they should be doing this or should be in a better place, you haven't walked in their shoes. Until you walked in that person's shoes, you know, you can't say.
It can be very rewarding. There are days that are really hard, and maybe you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, but there are many more days that you have made a difference in someone's life. You know, like I know, like at intake, that people feel really desperate, and that you're their lifeline, you know, to some extent. You know, you're that first step to them. You know, I always tell them when they're there, I'm like, okay, you've made this first step into, you know, changing your life for the better. You know, this is the hardest part, is making this and coming here. It's been so nice talking with you.
It's been great. I'm so glad that they paired us together. I can tell it seems like groups is very lucky to have you. So
thank you. Well, they're definitely very lucky to have you as well.